K guard is a modern, versatile open guard designed to create entries to leg locks and sweeps by attacking your opponent's base and posture. It is an outside leg entry position. So, not like your butterfly guard where you're attacking from the inside in terms of entering the legs. The K guard allows you to attack outside leg entries. So, it is very similar to more traditional guards like De La Hiva or single leg X in the regard that we're attacking the legs and sweeps from the outside. The defining characteristic of the K guard is the way you position your legs over your opponent's far thigh, creating a wedge for control and a path to attack.
Zane's going to stand in front of me. K guard is an outside position guard, meaning that generally my feet are in some type of outside position. So a lot of times, and the first kind of area we're going to cover is when he's standing. K guard is going to initiate from almost like a De La Hiva position where we're on our outside hip, and we're going to have some type of scoop on our partner's leg. And if you see, my feet are kind of on the outside. My left leg's on the outside, and my right foot could go a number of places, but usually it's going to be on this kind of far hip. And I'm going to use this outside position to weave my legs into a kind of an inside position. So I'm going to have this scoop, and the kind of the K guard position is like this outside leg kind of inverting to the inside, just like this. So generally when we do this, the lower I can get my leg, generally the better I'm going to be. Like, you often see this taught with the foot kind of hooking very, very high on the hip. And really, depending on how good your dexterity is, the lower your leg can go, kind of the more effective you're going to be right here. If my leg is very high, there's a greater chance that he can disconnect my foot from his hip and start to initiate passes. So initially, if I have my scoop, I'm inverting my knee inside, and ideally I want to bring my leg very, very low. So see how my foot is kind of hooking almost close to his knee? And when I'm doing this, I'm kind of dorsiflexing my foot, and I'm using this outside part of my foot to kind of glue right into the side of his knee to create a good connection with him, just like this. And at the same time, my second leg can be doing a number of things. A lot of times I like to kind of use my toes just to push off his quad, or I can kind of use this leg to create momentum so I can bring this knee to the inside. And this is going to be my general like kind of K position, and then from here we're going to go into all of our options. So this would be if he's in a standing position. I have this scoop you see. We can lock our hands sometimes. Sometimes we grab our own foot. Sometimes we lock a figure four around his leg, and we're going to kind of cover all of that. Be on the outside. I'm getting an underhook, but instead of being around his ankle, I'm going to be at his knee because he's on his knees. And I bring my knee to the inside the same way. We kind of make that like inverted knee position. And this time I'm going to be hooking on his hip. The same idea would apply. The lower I can go, the better. But because he's on his knees, you're not going to get much lower than the hip. And then I would be using this to off balance him and get into our positions. So I have my underhook. I'm trying to get my shoulder to cover his toes like this. It's going to make it harder for Zane to run away. Then my second hand can do any number of things depending on what he's doing. A lot of times we can lock our hands right here in a figure four. I can just lock my hands in a palm to palm or wrist to wrist. I can even grab my own foot. So a lot of times establishes a good connection, but there's a few ways I can position myself depending what Zane's doing. And ultimately I'm going to be lifting my hips up and throwing to this backside position.
I'd like to take a quick second in the middle of this video to say, if you'd like what you're watching right now, please consider subscribing for more golden nuggets and how to learn jiu-jitsu faster. Carry on.
Common theme, I'm going to get into a very important thing I want people to understand, is how I'm going to use my top leg. Okay, so I've got the leg on the bottom side. Usually you've got a leg that's trying to hook around the hip, or there's some other things we can do with that. But so that would be my left leg in this scenario. But my top leg here is actually really important. Okay, and it's going to be important in the entries part as well as in the offense part from K-guard. So that's why I'm going to kind of talk about that now, because it'll cover it for both the entries and the offense section. Okay, so this leg, often what I'm trying to do, often what I'm trying to do is get this foot on the inside of Mish's shoulder here. Okay, I want it so if Mish wants to push my leg away, he doesn't have the ability to do that. If Mish's arm is on the inside of my leg, he can push and block and prevent me getting access to his leg. Okay, so anytime we're here, I'm looking, if he's blocking my leg, I'm looking usually to pummel my foot inside and hook the armpit. I will talk about why it's very, very difficult for your opponent to leg lock you here a little bit later. So you might be worried about that at first, but trust me, if you know how to deal with that, it's not really an issue. Okay. So I want this foot here because it's hard for Mish to get back inside that leg. I can track and follow. It works as a frame. If Mish tries to pressure in, I can use my knee, kind of like a knee shield, to frame him. But I can also pull him back towards me. He's trying to back away. I can pull him with my foot, pulling my knee to my chest to get his weight forward. This is going to be important when I want to start to off balance him. I kind of want to pull him at me, right? Whereas if he's trying to pressure into me, I can be framing, and that's going to work too as well. I can also prevent Mish from retreating with this. Okay, see I'm hooked behind his shoulder. If Mish is backing away, it can slow down or potentially stop Mish from retreating, so I get access to his legs and he can't continually move his legs away. It gives me space to invert underneath. If my leg gets collapsed like this, I can't actually spin and invert and get to the leg. You can see I've got no access right now. This leg plays a very large role actually in giving me space to spin under. Okay, the entry to the K guard is kind of a partial invert. I want to be like coming here. Okay, so by having this space and keeping Mish's shoulders up, I get space to spin underneath and start to attack. So on that, we want to be keeping our leg high. We don't want to be putting the knee shield here. It really should be like your foot here is hooking behind the shoulder. One last thing, we often want to kick up with our shin. Sometimes I can use it to change sides. Having my leg high like this, I'm going to be trying to pull Mish forward. Sometimes I can't get access to this side. I can kick up, straighten, and allow myself to turn on the other side. So by kicking up, I'm preventing Mish from pulling away, and it allows me to rotate around and collapse down towards the other side to attack. Okay, so we're using our knee shield a lot as a frame to pull, to get our opponent forward, to push them back, to elevate them upwards, and potentially to change sides as well.
So legs on the outside, and we can get an underhook on the leg, and we're going to invert our knee inside the same way. So I kind of have this scoop, and then my knee drops kind of right next to my elbow, just like this. And my goal here is to unweight this leg so I can start to throw my leg over or pass his leg to the other side, which we're going to cover.
Hierarchy in the system that we've got going here, and what we're considering an upgrade in position. All right, so we've got the end points of the system. So if I can, in the end, I want to get to either backside 50-50. So I want to get to backside 50-50 here. This is obviously an excellent point to finish or to sweep and come on top. I want to get to that standing crab ride. So feed out the back here. If we can get to here, I can look to take the back or again enter leg entanglements. Or I want to get to the Berimbolo position. So knocking Kaya's hips to the ground and looking to take the back from here. Okay. The other one was the prone armbar position where we can start to attack this arm. So the idea is that we can get to, from any of the guards that we cover, we could end up immediately in those end stage positions, and we should look to do that as a part of our positional hierarchy. Otherwise, there's a general progression from non-leg entanglements into leg entanglements, which is an improving position. Okay, so what I mean by that, our main entry points, you can't just start in a leg entanglement. You've got to get there, and to get into the leg entanglements, we've got positions such as K-guard. So you see here, Kaya's, my leg's in front of Kaya, his leg's behind my leg, so I'm not really in a leg entanglement. I can work though to start to bring his leg in front of me. Okay, so you can see now his leg's in front of me. I've upgraded position. I'm now in a leg entanglement. His hips are on top of me. It's a great position now for me to start to further advance my position or get the finish.
Let's talk about how we can get into K-guard. Anytime our legs are on the outside, we can successfully enter into K-guard, whether it's closed guard, half butterfly guard, De La Riva guard, or X guard, and single leg X. Studying a lot of competition footages, you'll notice a lot of people enter into K-guard from a closed guard position, X guard position, and single leg X position. The great thing about K-guard is you can blend X guard and K-guard back and forth. The harder they defend the X guard, the more they give you the K guard. And the more they defend the K guard, they give you the X guard. I can go here. I can go K guard.
The minute you find that the person starts defending this and you start tripping his foot, I can go right back to X guard. So I can play the two against each other. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So right here, let's just start to play K guard. She will find that. This is where I want it.
Yeah.
Now, if you're, I know you're gonna try to kill the defense now. So I have to start separating. So I have to stop that. What am I doing? I'm close against this leg. Yeah. Again, it's conceptual. We're gonna start off in close guard. Our partner's gonna stand up. We're gonna get in this position and we're gonna go live. Top person. Your goal is to not let the bottom person get X guard. Do not let this leg come inside. If they grab this foot, this is gonna be a battle, right? You're gonna find. But I need to off balance him the entire time. Most people don't see this, but this foot isn't just hanging out here for fun. This foot can push. I want to see if anyone felt that, but if you're here and you're grabbing this foot, because he's grabbing this foot, he's not going to grab the foot standing upright. Make it stand upright. If you grab the foot upright, I can move this foot. Yeah, back. So what does he need to do? He needs to bend forward. But when he bends forward, he creates that hip angle for me, for this foot. Good. So when he grabs this foot, what does he have to do? He has to bend in. But when he bends over, he gives me something to push off.
So I'll show both again. To foot, I'm just kind of doing this. Most of the time, the person's going to be squaring up with me. So this might be more challenging to get to, but if I can get it, I basically am leg pressing him. And it's very, very easy to manipulate his weight. And I'm locking my hands as well in both these variations. Just come back.
Now I can bring me back into K guard here. If he stands up, you're losing your K guard at this point. If you see him do this, I need you to bring this foot back in, keep him back down here. Now you bring it here. I want him to stay here. So you see how my right foot's really heavy on this shoulder here? If he starts turning into me, I want to push him. I want to keep him here. So notice my hand, I'm keeping his leg on me at all times. Go back up. If I'm here and I'm very relaxed with this leg, so his hand, if I go here, you see how like there's distance? He can slowly start to turn his knee. He can slowly break my posture in this guard. I need to marry this to my chest at all times to keep it here.
What are the ways people could counter our entry? Perhaps one of the most common ones is a crossface. If I crossface Mish here, he tries to reach to my leg, and it's very hard to pull himself to attach to the leg. So we're going to want to know how to deal with the crossface. That often goes hand in hand with a sprawl. Okay, so even if Mish grabs my leg, if I crossface or I can block his head and start to sprawl back, I can often remove myself from his grip. So we want to know how to deal with someone who's sprawling. And just on that, so say crossface, also it can be just like a push or a block. Some people kind of push your head. We want to know how to deal with that as well as the crossface. It can be slightly different. You get some people who tend to sit back more. So when I'm up off my heels, there's actually a gap to reach underneath and grip the leg. You get some people who, as you're trying to enter, will be right back here. And when Mish tries to reach underneath, that's going to be difficult. Usually when they're doing this, they're more focused on blocking or trying to get their head back in position. Okay? So we want to know how to get someone off their heels to attack. You'll get some people who step up. Okay, so Mish is going for here, and I want to stop him attaching. I might start putting my knee in front, trying to disengage my leg. I kind of like pushing him away with my leg as I pull my own leg back, making it hard to reach that leg. Okay, so you will get people going into what we call combat base here, so one leg up, one leg down, and there are some options we've got to attack or switch to other guards when they do that. You might get some people who actually stand up and try to push your leg down to prevent you from having a foot along the hip. Okay, so again, if I notice Mish early is going for it, you might get some people who start trying to pin your leg towards the ground. We want to know what to do in a scenario like that. Some people will try to go under your legs. Mish is trying to go under my leg. If I'm successful and I can pull his leg up and get underneath his legs, he can't really attach his knee to my hip anymore. He wants to kind of jam his knee under my hip for K-guard. And if I've done a good job at this, I can pull his legs up, stop that, and potentially try to pass.
And lastly, you get some people who try to push your legs away. Sometimes they push the far leg, sometimes they try to push the near leg.
By now, you know the most common entry after hitting the K guard is the backside 50-50 to the heel hook. So how do we deal with that?
Now this hand fishes under. Yes. Now you have the underhook grip. Now you can release this hand. Now from here, what you need to do is marry my knee to your chest. Yes. You're gonna torque. You're gonna torque me in. Okay. This needs to be torqued. If you don't torque it, then I'll just. You don't want. You want at this point to. You want at this point to now. This foot needs to come out. And you're gonna. The more you're gonna see that, the more you push me. This foot's gonna lift my armpit and my hip. Okay. So you're gonna find that this person's gonna fight you here and press on. You need to bring it back. Re-engage and start kicking. The more I square up with you, the more I'm gonna disengage the K guard. Okay. So you want my body pushing this way. Yeah. So the more you come to me side, the more you see my leg and my back. Yeah. Now you can weave this foot all the way through to my far thigh. Yes. Now keep this grip. Don't let my knee touch the floor, but you're gonna bring my heel up to your other armpit for the heel hook. Yes. So if you hold that, don't apply it. But you're gonna find just hold it for a second. But you're gonna find that if I backspin, I'm applying the heel on myself. So never backspin in this position. Okay. What I need to do is strip this leg on my thigh and kill the angle between my heel and my butt. You're gonna find that there's nothing here anymore. But the more you separate the heel from my butt, the more the heel is there. Okay. But the more I kill the angle, there's no my knee is safe. At this point now it's just you just have a heel grip. That's really all it is. So now what you need to do, you force me separate, create that separation. Now you have that heel. Yeah.
Another common entry from the K guard would be the back take after we secure the K guard.
So to start to bring his leg in front of me. Okay, so you can see now his leg's in front of me. I've upgraded position. I'm now in a leg entanglement. His hips are on top of me. It's a great position now for me to start to further advance my position or get the finish. So
So let's recap what we've already watched and learned so far. So first things first, we know what the K guard is. We know where our limbs are supposed to be. We know what the purpose for each of our limbs are going to be. We know our objectives and our upgrades from each position in K guard. We have two variations of K guard: your traditional high hip K guard, and you have the shallow low version K guard. We know the common entries. We know the common responses. We know the common entries from close guard and X guard. And we know the common attacks. So right now, what you have is a good foundation and database to work off of with resources to go out there and attack and then try it out and see how these work for you. In all honesty, you can still catch a lot of people with K guard. You can still catch a lot of people with a lot of the heel hooks and backside 50-50s. So I believe that if you do watch this video from start to finish and you apply each mechanics from each Jason Rao clip and Lachlan Giles clip, you will find immense amount of good things that are going to happen in training room. So this is not to be the end all be all, and I can't wait to hear what you guys have to incorporate into your game.